Because reading is what?
Fundamental.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Do You Read BTS? I'm Lisa.
And I'm Delaze. Thanks for joining us. So this week we read a Hobie story called Hope of My Heart by randomly _delightful adorable terrifying on AO3. It's been a while since we've been on AO3.
Oh yeah.
So let's get into it.
This story was so cute and fluffy, guys. Y'all know we love smut, but this was full of fluff this week.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a story about a girl. Her name is Jayla Wright. Now y'all know I love a story with a name. So I'm so happy this girl has a name. So her name is Jayla Wright. And I don't really know what she does. I just maybe she's an interviewer for pop culture, or maybe she's just an interviewer. I don't know. So whatever she was doing, she was in Quebec, Canada. And she was just there outside, with just like a bunch of people. Like, I guess she was like sitting at a table, like eating. I don't know if she was eating or just sitting there. So she turns around, she sees Hobie, and she sees Jimin. Now they're trying to order food, but they can't order food. They're not, I guess the lady not understanding what they're trying to order. So she speaks Korean, so she goes to help them order food. She helps them order food. They get what they need. They sit down, and then that's about it for them. They don't just thank you, hey, and bye, and they just leave. Now she knows who they are, but she don't let them know that she knows who they are, which is pretty smart. I feel like if I met them, that I would be doing the same thing.
I would try. I would definitely try.
Like, I'd be like, hey, I'd be cool. I wouldn't be like fanning out. I don't think I would fan out.
Same.
I think I would be the cool chick. So, anyway, they could just go their separate ways. So, I think, I don't know if this is the next day or a couple hours later, but I think it's the next day that she goes and meet her friend. They're having like a dance performance, like outside. And at the dance performance, they, at the end of the professionals that are dancing, they get other people to come up there and dance with them. So they picked a couple people out of the crowd, and they picked Hobie. So Hobie goes up there and dance or whatever with them, and she goes and she talks to Jimin. And so when she's talking to Jimin figured out, oh, you know who we are? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, and you're not freaking out? She was like, no, why would I be screaming, fanning out, letting everybody around here know who y'all are so all y'all fans can see y'all and then go crazy. So, he just was like, okay. At that point, Jim's like, you a cool chick, but without saying. He's like, you a cool chick. We can hang with you. So, they just talking and hurry up to performing, and then somebody out the crowd says, is that J-Ho? So when she sees that, she grabs Jimmy and grabs Hobie, and they take off running. So she's kind of familiar with the area because she's been there for a while. So she just kind of taking them down little spaces where they can hide or whatever, and they head, and all the crowd just kind of disappeared. So then what happened there?
Yeah, so after that, they ended up disappearing into the crowd, and instead of going back to their hotel, because they're there for a performance, BTS is there for a performance, and so instead of going back to the hotel, they want to hang out a little bit more with her. So they end up going to walk around. They end up going to a park, and then they end up going to a pastry, like a bakery, for some tea or something, and some coffee and some desserts. So they have a good time with the desserts and all that, and then she's like, all right, well, I know it's time for you guys to go. I'm gonna head home or to her hotel, and they say, well, we'll drop you off because we have a car that's gonna come and pick us up anyway. She's like, yeah, you really don't have to do that, but all right, if you insist. They're like, yeah, it's the least we can do because you've been so great for us today. You really helped us out in this jam. So they drop her off at the hotel, and then that's kind of that. So before she gets out of the car or something like that, like they exchange numbers. Her and Hobie exchange numbers. I think. And then so the next day he ends up texting her, and she's like, wait, no, I don't know if they did exchange numbers, because I remember she was like, how did you get my number? Or was that a different story? Hold on.
No, I think they did, because I think, didn't he want to repay her the next day?
I think
something
so.
For helping them?
Yeah, something like that. And she's like, oh, you don't have to do that. Oh, yeah. And he ended up giving her tickets to their concert, and like really good tickets. So she was like, okay, cool. So she ends up going to the concert and like has this amazing time, and he gives her the VIP like backstage pass, like all of that.
And so she goes back to her hotel, and then she calls her friend, and she's telling her friend about what happened. And then her friend is saying, oh, but old boy seen you. So we skipped this part, but there was a guy that liked her. That was a dancer up there with her friend. He liked her, but she wasn't giving him the time of day. She did not like him. So when she called her friend on the phone, she's telling him or her, I don't know if it was him or her, about she met them and this and that, and this is what happened. And her friend tells her, oh, but you know Logan ain't that his name, Logan?
Yeah, Logan.
You know Logan seen you with them, and he figured out who they were, and he wants you just to call him or whatever. She was like, darn, now he about to tell everybody. It's about to go crazy, you know. So she calls Logan. Logan tells her he's seen her with them, and this he didn't know how she knew who they were, but he knew who they were, and his sister is a big fan. Evidently, the sister was trying to get tickets to the show, but she didn't get to get tickets. So he wanted her to get some tickets, and she knew them.
I don't like how he went about it, though, because he low-key was trying to blackmail her into reaching out. I didn't like that at all.
He did, because he was about to expose him if she would have said no.
So, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, girl.
Okay, so she agrees to meet up with him. So they go to this coffee shop, or they go to this restaurant, and they meet up, and he brings it's her friend. Her friend's name is, I think, Bethany. So it's her friend Bethany, and then Logan ends up showing up with this girl. So, they're kind of looking like, who is this chick that's with him? She looks a little bit young, but like, all right. So he sits her down at the table or whatever, and then walks over to them. Come to find out, the girl that Logan brought was his little sister. Now, there's a part in the story, and I think it may have been just a typo, but I want to see if you caught it. So initially he says, this is my sister, that's my sister Lauren. But then when she comes up to the table a little bit later, he says, this is my sister Lexi.
Oh, no, I didn't. The only typo that I caught is that when she was saying she was from North Carolina, then at one time it said she was from South Carolina.
Oh, okay. I saw that too, but I was like, so the problem with that for me was when I saw that, I'm like, ooh, this is about to be a setup.
Right.
I still think that low key, because I'm like, I don't know if it was just an accident or if that was important for the story. I don't know. It might come up later. I don't know yet, but yeah. So Lexi is fangirling about how she loves BTS and how she really wanted to get these tickets and how she missed out, and her bias is Jin and her bias wrecker is Hobie, and she just really loves them, and so I
love that her bias was Jim.
Me too.
I love when people bias are Jim, because it's not a lot of them out there.
Yeah, I love that, and I love the fact that he was her bias and she was like super young.
Right.
Because you don't normally see that. Normally, when you have people that are Jim biases, they're older. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool. But they end up like having that little date or whatever, and then she goes outside and she's talking to Logan. She's like, look, I'll see what I can do. There's no promises, but I'll see what I can do. So her and Hobie are like texting back and forth, whatever. So they end up going out again because he wants to see her, and he ends up taking her out to eat, because they have this kind of game that they're gonna play is who can send the most text messages in the day. And so they're
Uh-huh.
both going ham all day. And by the end of the game, whoever has the most gets to win a prize. So Hobie wanted to take her out for his prize. And for her prize, she was going to ask him if he can get her the tickets to go to the concert. So by the end of it, she won. And so she ended up asking him for those tickets after their date and everything like that. And he ended up giving them to her. But not only did he give her the tickets, he gave her VIP tickets. And when they ended up getting to the venue, they also had goodie bags with like a bunch of BTS concert merch.
Right.
So that was kind of cool.
I know. I was like, I wonder do they really do that?
I know. I was wondering that too, because I'm like, I wonder what you have to do to get like that type of treatment.
I mean, whatever we need to do.
Girl, like, I don't know if you have to be like, you know, when you see celebrities going to their concerts and stuff like that, like, do they get those types of packages?
You know, I don't know because, you know, I have seen a million celebrities go to a BTS concert, but I don't see pictures with them backstage. You know how
Oh, yeah.
you know how I feel about JK, Ariana Grande,
I know,
but
girl.
when he went to her show, he went backstage
Yeah.
with her to take a picture, but I never see that.
That's true, because that was one of the things in the story that they ended up getting to go backstage and meet all the members and take a picture with them. So I don't know if that's a real thing, but that would be kind of cool if that's something that you could like purchase
I don't
or
know,
something
girl.
that they do.
Whenever you go to a BTS concert, you will see they get back to the hotel room so fast.
That's true, because in Jersey, they were not playing games.
Girl, they was back at their hotel room and we was outside
Still
in the
outside
parking
the
lot,
venue.
okay? I remember.
Girl, cold. They was in there eating soup and whatnot. We was out there freezing, snotting and whatnot.
Right, it was cold.
It was so cold.
And girl, the next night it was raining.
Yeah,
So
I know you were
and
telling me
thunder
that.
and lightning. So yeah.
Girl.
But girl, yeah, they made it back to their hotel room like nothing. Like 20 minutes, they was on the line. We was like, wait, just.
Yeah, girl, when I saw that, I was like, how'd they do that? How'd they do that so fast?
Right.
That was amazing. So.
But anyway, sorry. Back to the story.
Yeah, so they end up going to going to meet them behind the scenes, and Lexi's flipping out because she really loves them, but the girl Jayla notices that Hobie's kind of demeanor changes because Logan's like got his arm on her or whatever, but she's like, why would he be tripping like that? But he felt some type of way about it. And she's just kind of like, okay, but eventually she's like, hey bro, what's up? Like, what's the deal? And she's like, that's just a friend. That's like, this is who the tickets was for. He wasn't supposed to be here. Her homegirl was supposed to be here, but she couldn't come, so he had to come. And he kind of calmed down after that.
Yeah.
So, they end up leaving. Lexi and Logan end up leaving, and then Jayla ends up hanging out with Hobie that night, right?
Yeah, they hung out a little bit more because after that they were supposed to go have coffee or something, wasn't they? So they hang out, they have coffee, they have a good time. Not anything spectacular really happened. And then he takes her back to the hotel, right? And then did he come in? Okay, he didn't want to leave her.
Yeah.
So first he was going to drop her off at the like garage thing, but then he decided to take her on up. And she was like, you know, you don't need to do that. We don't want you to get caught doing nothing that you don't need to be doing, so you don't have to do that. But he wanted to. So he walked her all the way up to her room, you know, and told her goodbye. You know, it was just sweet, and then he left.
It was really cute.
And so I guess after that, wasn't they like leaving? They like left, and then they just decided that they were going to text back and forth and be good friends. But then he started to tell her that he started to have feelings for her. And he wanted to like talk to her.
And she was like, you know, I feel the same. I don't know what it is, but I also want to try to see where this goes. But we got to understand that it's going to be a busy schedule, but we'll revisit this later on. I thought that was cute because they really did communicate really, really well.
Yeah.
Communication is key, guys.
Right. Until Hubby start acting funny, honey.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get there.
Mm-hmm. He was tripping.
So then what else happened there?
So after that, he ends up. So their time in Canada is over. So they're going to another place, and she ends up coming out to meet him, and I think it's New York, right? I think she ends up.
Yeah.
Or did I skip too far?
I think that's the next destination. Like they talked for a while.
Yeah, they do talk
and then
for a
they
while.
just decided that that they were going to meet up in New York.
Mm-hmm. So she ends up, because that was like their next leg of the concert. So she ends up coming back to New York. This girl travels a lot for work. She ends up coming back to New York. She has to, she ends up coming to him, meet him, but she has a friend that lives out there who's a guy. And so this guy wants to meet Hobie, and Hobie wants to meet...
Wait. Let's just go over this. We skipped some parts. Because she goes to New York, before she even gets to New York, Hobie already told her, I got you a ride.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't going to stay in... Because, like, she was thinking about money, saving money by staying with her friend.
Mm-hmm.
That is the male that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And that he was like, you know what? It's going to be better if you just stay in a hotel. The same hotel that we're staying at, just on a different floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I got you a ride for wherever you need to go. And then she's just like, you don't have to do all that. And he was like, no, I really want to do all that. And she was like, listen, quit doing stuff without telling me. That's where our communication is going haywire, because I need you to talk to me about everything that you're doing. I don't want you to do all this stuff for me. Which was, I was like, girl, Ma, you need to sit down.
Because everything was already set up without her knowing about it.
Yeah, but I mean, he was just trying to be sweet.
Yeah, I get it.
But she was just feeling like she had to be in the clear about, like she had to know everything that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So then, go ahead, girl.
So then, so she ends up saying, okay, this is fine. Like, I'll stay with you, but just stay, or I'll stay there. I'll take this ride, whatever. But I'd like to know ahead of time, because she felt a little bit silly when the driver was like, yeah, I'm going to be here. You'll be seeing more of me. She was like, what do you mean? So she felt a little silly about that whole thing. Anyway, they get past that. And so she's going to meet up. What's his name? Derek? I think that's his name.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
I think that's his name. I don't know. It might be.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, she ends up meeting up with him and Hobie, and they're kind of talking back and forth, and everything is really going well, but it's a little bit hard because...
Well, hold on. Let me just go ahead and stop you right there, because we got to talk about this part. Now, when Hobie started acting crazy in New York, because then she starts seeing how jealous Hobie is. Now, remember, this girl had gotten sick and everything. Remember?
I thought, was that not later? Oh, that's right. No, she got sick. What was it, from food?
She went to New York. I don't really know what it was.
Was she exhausted?
But she got sick. Like, she was already there for a couple of days. She was supposed to be there for what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah, she got real sick because she couldn't do nothing. She was stuck in that room.
Right, so she was stuck in the room, and Hobie was like coming back and forth, checking on her, because they were still doing concerts. They had a couple of concerts. I think they had to do 2 in New Jersey, 2 in New York. Mm-hmm. So they were like a week apart. And so he was like kind of doing things, but coming back, checking on her, and she had gotten sick or whatever. But I guess the one day her friend had called her, and he was like, oh, but I heard you in love and all this stuff. Tell me more. Tell me everything. Now, I thought this guy, to me, in my head, was a gay friend. Was he to you?
I thought he was, but I don't know. They didn't really specify, so I'm just...
It just kind of felt that way in the book without saying it.
Yeah. I agree.
So, he was just talking to her on the phone, and he was like, I need to meet this man. Let me meet him, blah, blah, blah. And she was just like, no, it ain't happening. But Hobie started to get jealous, because he don't know who this friend is. He just know he a guy.
Yep, and that's it.
And he was like, oh, we can make a way to meet him. And she was like, hold on, let me call you back. So she hung up the phone with her friend. She was like, I just think that's funny how you want to spend all this time together with just me and you. And she wasn't saying it like this, y'all. She was saying it very nice and sweet. I'm just saying it the way I would have said it.
Right.
But she was like, well, hold up. How you going? Now you telling me that we need to spend all this time together as much as we can get in. And now you telling me that you got time to fit in a time to meet my friend? Like,
Right.
what is this really about? So come to find out, Hobie just, and then little Jen was like, oh, he jealous.
Right. Oh,
Because
before we forgot a
Jen
part.
and Jen and Jimmy was in the room too. They
Mm-hmm.
had came and they were just at the table eating.
Mm-hmm. Looking.
Yeah, this and that. Yeah, look at Jim was like, "Oh, he jealous."
Mm-hmm.
It was funny to me. Like I could see Jen saying, "He jealous" in the background.
Right. There's
And so,
there's
go
a
ahead, go
part
ahead.
that we skipped though. I think this happened before I think they were getting ready to leave. Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead. It happens after they leave the states completely. So go ahead. Sorry.
Well, anyway, they just talked it out
Mm-hmm.
basically, and he admitted that he was jealous.
Mm-hmm.
That he want to share, but he understand he want to meet this friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so, go ahead, girl.
So they meet up with the friend. Everything's cool. They're communicating back and forth as best they can, because Hobie wasn't able to fully speak to the guy, and the guy didn't really speak Korean. So she's trying to translate between the both of them, but they end up communicating and end up having a good time. Derek's telling her, I'm guessing his name is Derek. That's what he's going to be called for right now. Telling Hobie stories about her when they were like in school and stuff like that, and just kind of sharing all types of stuff about her. Well, it's now time for them to go back to Korea, and so before they go back, Hobie and them are like going off somewhere, but Namjoon, Jin, and I think it was Taeyoung that called Jayla to hang out because they wanted to talk. Well, not to hang out, but they specifically wanted to talk to her. So she go to meet up with them and is like, hey guys, what's up? Like, you guys called me, so what's up? And so they're like, we just want to let you know that Hobie really is hands-on when it comes to being in a relationship. Like, he's really, really attentive, really wants to cuddle and be there. And we know it's been overwhelming for people in the past. And if you're not ready for all that, especially what comes with this lifestyle, please don't hurt him. Please don't like lead him on. Just let him know ahead of time. And she's kind of quiet for a second. She's like, I appreciate y'all coming at me with this. However, I don't appreciate the fact that Hobie's not here, first of all. Secondly, I care about him just as much as he cares about me. I don't know what this is right now, but I know that I care about him, and that's just what it is. I thank you for looking out for our concern, but we got this. We have discussed what we're going to do. We have discussed how things are going to be with the schedules. Like, we already got this handled, but again, thank you. She didn't have an attitude or nothing like that, but like, you know how we retell stuff.
Again, this is us talking.
Exactly. Because in my head, she was eye rolling and neck popping and look.
Right. And then she was like, well, if you don't mind, I'm about to call him right now.
Right. Which, you know what? Shout out to her for being real, because she was like, no, my man needs to know about what's going on here. I want no confusion. We said we can keep open and clear communication.
Wait. Right. They wanted to wait till they see him. She was like, oh, no, we're going to call him right now.
Yep. And so she calls him and she's like, hey, are you in a spot where you can talk? And he's like, yeah. She's like, look, I'm here with your 3 brothers and they told me X, Y, and Z. And I just want to make sure that you're aware of what's going on. And so, he understood. And I think he asked them, he didn't ask her, but he asked them to bring her up to where they were at. So they all end up going up there so that they can hang out and all that good stuff. And then they have a good night together, and then eventually they end up leaving. So after that, Jayla is doing, she's just kind of doing her thing. They're speaking as much as they can, but it's a little bit hard because the schedule is super busy. And so they're doing what they can, but she also has to work. So she ends up telling him that she has to work. It's like something like a KCON.
Oh yeah, because he wanted he wanted to meet her to he wanted her to come where he was at,
right,
or whatever, because they had like a little downtime. And she was like, nope, I gotta work. Like, I thought she was just gonna be like, okay, I'll drop whatever I'm doing, but she was like, nope, gotta work in Chicago at K-Con, and I gotta do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he understood, even though he was really crushed.
Mm-hmm.
So she went ahead and done that or whatever. She went to K-Con. She had to interview this group called The Rose.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, is that a real group?
I don't know. I've never heard of them, but that's not saying much.
So anyway, she was interviewing The Rose, and her and The Rose got kind of close. But it's just because Jayla's just a very nice person. Like
Mm-hmm.
she just has that personality that people adapt to very easily.
Mm-hmm.
So she got very close with them. Went to the concert. They called her up on stage and was just like, "Oh, this is our good friend Jayla. She means this to us," and blah 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 blah. So as meanwhile, Hobie and them is like practicing or something.
Mm-hmm.
And the boys see, I guess it was Tay.
It was
That
Tay.
seen
Tay
her.
always the person showing somebody's other business.
He always the one, ain't he?
He always being messy. Like, sit down, man.
Right. So Tay sees something. He showed, which I wouldn't be mad at Tay. He just trying to make sure his brother
Yeah.
is good. So he showed Tay showed Hobie the fan cam of Jayla going on stage and what the Rose was saying. So instantly Hobie got super jealous, like,
Mm-hmm.
why she's so close to them? Why is saying that she's a good friend? Obviously she's known them before or whatever. Meanwhile, Jayla didn't even know them from a can of paint, really.
Mm-hmm. She had just met them that day.
Mm-hmm. So after the concert, whatever, Hobie got on the phone with. First of all, Hobie wasn't even trying to pop off though. He was like really being nice.
Mm-hmm.
She was just like being like, I'm not understanding. Like she felt something was different about how he was coming. But then he was like, but what about you being with the Rose and you obviously know them or whatever? And she was like, are you accusing me of like wanting to be with them or something, or knowing them more than I do know them? Because I don't. Like she was being very like calm, and in my head, I was like, Jayla need to pop off on her because he popping off on her.
Man, I was thinking the same thing. So I'm like, man, she real calm, but if she pop off, then it's gonna look crazy. So I get why she's acting like that, but also like, girl, he's trying you.
Yeah, he really did. He really did try her. And then he was just like, you know what? I just need to get off the phone with you right now because the way my attitude's set up right now, I can't even talk to you. And they hung up.
Because he was like, yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow or whatever when I'm cool. And he doesn't. Because the next day happens and she's like...
No, he said, I will talk to you later. And she was like, okay, can we talk tomorrow? He gonna go.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And so they went to bed. She went to bed, could not sleep good because what just happened. Girl, she better than me. I would have called that phone 15 times.
Girl, like, no, we need to talk about this because I refuse to not get no sleep over this.
Exactly. We got to talk this out tonight because I am not going to bed angry over no boo, okay?
Right.
Especially not you, the son of my life.
Right.
We got to talk this over tonight. So anyway, she goes to bed, didn't sleep worth a darn, but she had to get a little bit of sleep because she had to go and do another interview the next day. So she gets up in the morning. The first thing she did was call Hobie. Hobie didn't answer. She's like, this is strange as Hobie don't never not answer the phone.
Or text back immediately if he doesn't answer.
Right. So she called him a couple times. He didn't answer. Text him, still no answer. Then she just went ahead and went to her job. So the whole time she went to her job, she was just like, I still can't. Like, she couldn't even do her job right because she was only thinking about Hobie. Go ahead, girl.
Real quick, something I forgot to mention because I just thought it was really cute detail in the story. When Jayla, Hobie, and Derek, her best friend, met up, he ended up telling them, it's kind of like this is fate. And they're like, well, why do you say that? And he's like, well, because your name is J-Hope, like your stage name is J-Hope, and her middle name is Hope. And so it's like her name, in a sense, is kind of also J-Hope. He's like, we're meant to be or whatever. So that I just thought that was cute.
It was cute.
So yeah, so he's pissed. She calls, he don't answer, and she's trying to hit him up. He's not responding. He's not answering her calls, not returning anything, not returning her texts, nothing. So now she's just kind of like, okay, what's the deal? So she reaches out to somebody, one of the members, and they say that he's not.
Oh, they had. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the group text that she was doing with the Rose.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. She reaches out to one of the members, and they're like not respond. I mean, they respond and say that Hobie's not responding to them either. So
well, she don't reach out to them. She was going to reach out, but she didn't because she didn't want them to worry about it. But Jen ended up texting her, telling her that he wanted her to come down to hang out with all of them, and that Hobie didn't know because they couldn't reach Hobie.
Oh,
you remember?
Kind of.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, you need to come down. We got this amount of time that we are resting. It'd be cool if you come down, hang out with everybody. We got a place for you to stay and everything." Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he was like, "Oh, if you worried about Hobie," because at that time all the members knew she don't talk without Hobie. Mm-hmm. Like they know, and they was like, "Oh, if you worried about Hobie, we tried to call him, but we can't get in touch with him." Mm-hmm. And so, she didn't. I don't even think she responded back. Did she?
I don't remember if she responded back or not. But...
yeah. I don't think she responded back because at that time she was going to the concert. If y'all know anything about KCON, I obviously haven't went, but I've seen a lot of like YouTube stuff on it. So when they have KCON, they have this like huge concert and just a bunch of different groups perform. Mm-hmm. So that's where she was going, but she was turning her phone on mute to put the phone down in her person. That's when she seen Jen text her that. Mm-hmm. So before she could reply back, she seen the members of the Rose come. And I'm thinking the Rose ain't that big because they trying to sit down in the crowd and watch the concert too.
Right.
So she sit down with them and they was like, ask her, did she want to go get something to eat after the concert? But they knew she wasn't in the right space, like, because they was trying to talk to her and ask her, is this seat taken? Can I sit here or whatever? They already knew she had like an attitude about herself without having an attitude, Mm-hmm. She just wasn't herself, and they knew that. So they just wanted to take care of her at that point. So the concert was over. They like, let's go out, let's get something to eat. She was like, no, I really don't want to. I need to go back to my hotel. She was just thinking about Hobie the whole time. Mm-hmm. They was like, okay, fine, we'll walk you back to your hotel. So they started to walk her to a hotel. A bunch of fans came, seen them. They was like, listen, we'll take some pictures if y'all leave us alone. That's what they did. Ended up walking her all the way to her hotel. She goes up, and then when she gets to her hotel room, she see Hobie sitting outside of her hotel room. It was so sweet, too.
With luggage in hand.
Yes. But when he looked up, he was like, oh, for real?
Right. I know he was like, okay, so if she was just like, great, here we go.
Right. And he was just like, but kudos to the Rose.
Yeah.
Because the Rose was just like, okay, we just met her. She's just really a cool girl, and we want to make sure she gets to her hotel room or whatever. And they was like, I hope he did. Then he understood.
Right, but they were like low key kind of starstruck because they weren't expecting him to be sitting at her room door. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool. But they ended up leaving, and then Hobie and her went inside. But as they're getting ready to talk to one another, they're kind of doing that whole speaking at the same time thing, and then he ends up going first, saying, "Hey, I'm really sorry." So they end up pretty much clearing up the miscommunication about why he was pissed. But he's like, yeah, I just had to see you, and as soon as we got off the phone, I got on the plane and turned my phone off so the other members couldn't find me. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, that's some true love right there, because that wasn't no short ass trip. She was in Chicago and he was in Korea.
Right.
So
he legit took like a 16-hour flight. Real quick. Management know, but the boys don't know. And so, he apologized. They, got their like little time in together. And then he was like, you know what? I got to leave tomorrow. That's the bad news. So they got to spend each other. He got up the next day. was taking a shower. She got a knock on the door, and the Rose brought breakfast to them.
Mm-hmm.
How sweet was that?
That was really sweet. When he was like, yeah, they brought breakfast for us, and I woke you up because I wanted to make sure that you can get it while it was hot. That's so sweet.
Right, and they agreed not to like tell anybody that he was there.
Yep. They were some solid dudes. If they are a real group, I might have to listen to them just because of the story.
I know. I thought, look them up.
Right. They was real solid in this. I liked it.
Right, because they were really nice to her for real.
Yeah.
And they was like, and they even told her like, oh, we ain't gonna tell nobody. We went and why it's not right for him to not be able to have his own private time. Blah blah
right.
blah. So yeah, it was really sweet.
That was really sweet. So, what happens next?
I don't remember.
I know they end up having breakfast. He ends up. I know at some point in the story, they tell one another that they love each other, and
that's what he say. He said that when he got back to the hotel room with her.
Oh, okay.
He was like, I'm doing this because I'm in love with you.
Right. And she's like, I feel the same way. And that was kind of that. And then this is like actually near the end of the story. Kind of. Because they speak to one another. They see one another. And then that's kind of it. They spend the most of their night talking about what happened, and then he ends up having to go back to Korea, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
they just.
So real quick though, there. Let's see. Oh, they're out somewhere, and because he's like, I want to go out or something on his last day there, and she's like, I don't know if that's a good idea. It's broad daylight. People have already recognized you once before. You're here, like He's like, yeah, but they're not going to be expecting me to be here. Well, they go out, and lo and behold, people recognize who he is. So yet again, they have to go hide, and when they hide, they go to a bathroom. And people are in there trying to like get to them or whatever, but eventually it goes away. So then they have to. She ends up calling somebody in her contacts and is like, "Hey, I need your help," which I think is one of the members from the Rose, because they were like, "If you ever need anything, call us." So I think that's who she called, but we don't know that because it doesn't say for sure who she called. But that's the end of the story for now. So this is another story that's not finished, but that's all that has happened at this point.
Yeah, guys, it was good while it lasted.
Yeah, definitely.
So how'd you feel about this story?
I like the story. I thought it was very cute, very fluffy. It's so different from what we typically read, but I liked it. Like, I enjoyed all that it was. I thought it was so cute. I wish it was finished, but we're going to have to find some more stories. I feel like the last couple that we've been reading haven't been completed. But I really did like the story. I thought it was cute, and I'm really interested to see what happens next. How about you?
Girl, I love this story. I love the fluff in it, but you know what I was waiting for. I'm not going to lie. I know the story said it wasn't going to be no smut, but I was waiting for it.
It had all the setup to be, right?
Yes, I'm like, okay, the hotel room. Oh, she get in the hotel room. When he get, it's going to be some smut.
Yeah.
No. Oh, he pulled up at the hotel room unexpectedly. Oh, it's about to be some smut. Oh, he went to the family bathroom. They locked in the family bathroom together. It's about to be some smut. I just thought it's...
Because, seriously, in any other story that has smut in it, those scenes are exactly those scenes that have smut in it.
Yes. And see, in the book, it kept talking about how they wanted more.
Yeah.
But it never got to more.
Exactly.
And so I don't know if it ever is, because she really said that it wasn't going to be smut. I guess people kept asking for smut, but she kept saying it's not going to be smut, just a bunch of fluff.
Yeah.
So it just was what it was. But it was cute.
Yeah, it definitely
I liked it. I really would love to know where it's going to go from here. And I'm expecting him to be like, look, move to Korea, get a job, get a job with Dispatch or something.
Job with dispatch. Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking is getting at.
Yeah, because you already can tell, like, just how they feel about each other and how quickly everything was kind of going for them. You already can tell that this is going to be one of those love stories where they do this, they get married and have a family and all that stuff. So it's kind of like expected, but it's such a cute story, and I just love how they met and how they really started to fall for one another. It's really cute.
Right.
So,
but if you guys like a nice little fluffy book, go check this out on AO3.
yes, definitely go check this out. Again, it is by randomly _ delightful _ adorably _ terrifying. And again, it's called Hope of My Heart. All the information will be in the description of the podcast, but that is where you guys can find this story. So yeah, that was it. You guys can follow us as usual on Instagram, on Twitter, TikTok. Definitely don't forget to go to subscribe and like our YouTube channel. If you guys have any recommendations or anything like that, you can always email them to us at doyoureadbts@yahoo.com. And yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.